It's always a good practice to have a dev or staging environment along with your production environment for ArcGIS Enterprise. I frequently get asked how to migrate content from one to the other. Hosted services can be straightforward and can be easily scripted. Probably expect an update to this tool set with this functionality, but reference services can be rather difficult. For example, there are numerous prerequisites that are required for a service to be published from an enterprise view database. For example, such as does the ArcGIS service account have necessary privileges? Is the G database registered with the ArcGIS server instance? Does the feature class in fact exist within that new G database, etc.? So these tools here will pick up once your services have been published to the other environment and you would like to begin migrating your web maps, applications, and dashboards. So in this video, I'm going to walk through how to use this tool set. Within this example, I'm going to have two environments here. You'll see the 21465 will be my dev or staging environment, and then my 21475 will be my production environment. You can see here in my dev or staging environment, you can see I have some hosted feature services here. This tool set will work with reference feature services, but just in this example, I'm going to use hosted feature services. So I have these four hosted feature services here that are feeding this web map. We'll just go ahead and take a quick look at that web map here. So this service is being used. And this web map here then is being fed into a dashboard. See here. And then we have an experience builder application that is using the web map and the actual dashboard itself. So here's the web map with some basic functionality with widgets, and then we have the dashboard actually embedded into this experience builder application. So what I'd like to do is start migrating this content. I already went ahead and published the services to my production environment. As you can see here, I have the same four services as hosted feature services. Now I can start beginning to migrate my web maps, dashboard, experience builder app. So to do that, I'm going to switch to ArcGIS Pro, and just to show you, here's my migrate content toolbox, and within here are the tools that I have. So I can migrate my web maps, my web applications, such as web app builder applications and instant apps. I haven't tested story maps, so that's something that will be in the future. But you can also migrate your dashboards and your experience builder apps. Also, not only can you migrate them so it'll make a copy of them, but you can update them as well. So if the web map or application dashboard already exists and you execute these tool sets, it'll actually update that existing web map or application dashboard. So first, I'm going to go ahead and start with the web map. So I'll make this window larger so you can see everything. The first thing it's referencing, or first parameter it's asking for, is the source age URL, portal URL. So these tool sets will work with ArcGIS Align as well. When migrating your content, you should migrate between environments that are the same. So when migrating from ArcGIS Align, it should be from ArcGIS Align to ArcGIS Align. When migrating enterprise, the enterprise version should be the same. So if I have enterprise 11.1, I should be migrating to enterprise 11.1. So the first thing I would want to specify is the portal URL. Enter that in. Next is a administrative username or admin account for that portal. So again, specify my portal admin account. It'll do some validation, find all the source users that are allowed to own content. So here are those users. I can go ahead and select the user that has the web map I want to migrate. It'll do some further validation once I select that user and allow me to select the content that they have. So in this scenario, I'm going to migrate the DNR dam monitoring web map. Like that, I'll do some further validation and it'll show you all the service URLs being used in that web map. So with this, I can jump to my target portal or production portal. I can click on the service. I can copy the URL here. I could view it to get the actual URL from here as well. So I'll go ahead. But with this, the only thing that's different is just the 475 or 465 is 475. So that's a very easy change to make. So jumping back here, I'm just going to copy these over, update the value here. And you can see actually this service is within the application several times, just configured differently. How this tool works is does a find and replace. So there's no need to actually go through and specify this URL several times if it exists more than one. So I can just go ahead and remove those other entries here. So then I have all my URL specified, updated. Next is my target portal URL. You can go ahead and enter that in. An administrative account in my target environment. Some further validation. Ask what user I want to migrate this to. I'll just keep it the same user, the portal admin. And then which folder I'd like to place the content in. I have all that specified. I'll go ahead and run this tool. I'll begin copying that web map over. So jumping back to my target environment or production environment, however you want to think of it, here is that web map that was just created. I can open that up. We'll view it, and we'll just make sure that these layers are actually referencing the new environment. So let's just go ahead, look at the URL, and you can see, yeah, it's 475 now, which is perfect. So we went ahead and did that migration for us. Next, I'll go ahead and migrate the dashboard. So again, it's just doing the URLs here. Source user, which is my portal admin. And then here are a list of dashboards that I can go ahead and select owned by that user. And then here it's actually going to list the web maps that are being used within that dashboard. So here's the web map ID from the source portal, and then I need to specify the new web map ID. So that was the one that was just previously copied over. So I can go ahead, jump to my target portal. Here's the ID and the URL. I can copy that, place it in here. And then again, it would just be updating all of these parameters here to my target environment. Target owner, and then the target folder. Just keep this tool. Get the dashboard over. And we'll go ahead and take a look. Make sure that that is rendering correctly. So here's the dashboard. I'll go ahead and view the dashboard. It's going to start rendering everything correctly. Great. So now that I have my web map and my dashboard, which are feeding the Experience Builder application, I can migrate that over as well. I'll jump into this tool. And each parameter does have a help associated with it. So if you're confused what to specify, just hover over the little eye icon there, and it'll give you some details of what you should be entering. After I specify my source portal information, it'll allow me to select any Experience Builder application owned by that user. So here I have, as I was mentioning, the web map. That Experience Builder app was using a web map as well as that embedded dashboard. So it's going to go ahead and specify which web maps you need to replace with the new one. So I'll go ahead and jump back, grab that web map ID again from my target environment. And then it's going to have the embedded content here, so any other URLs that it finds. So this URL here is actually coming from a query widget within the Experience Builder application. You can configure that with other services that are actually not in your application. So it's going to list any other URLs that it finds. So first we'll start with the dashboard URL. I'll go ahead and jump back here. We'll view that. View here, copy that URL. And here I know the URL is the same except for the name of the portal instance. And again, it's just going to go ahead and be updating the target information just as I've been doing before. And we'll go ahead and run this. So that is complete. We'll jump back to our target environment. We'll have the experience builder application migrated over. We'll view that, make sure that we can view the map, as well as the dashboard. This looks like everything migrated over successfully, which is great. And I was mentioning, these tools can be used to update existing ones, so it doesn't have to just make a copy of it if the experience builder app already exists and we made changes to it. So here in my source portal, I'm going to edit this. We'll do something very simple, like add a new widget, for example. So let's say I went ahead and add a widget. We'll just take this coordinates widget here, and let's just throw that in here. And save and publish this. So now I've added that new widget. I made some changes in like my dev or staging environment. I can verify that's working, and then I want to go ahead and promote that to my production environment. I can go ahead and just re-execute this tool. So here it was creating a copy of the experience builder app. Now we should see an option where it's going to go ahead and update that. So it should find everything should be the same. I didn't add any additional web maps or embedded content, URLs, or anything along that line. So I shouldn't have to change anything within this tool. Taking a look at the details, we should see now it's saying updating existing web app. So it's going to find it, it's going to update it. Let's just jump back here. We'll refresh this, clearing the cache, doing so. And here we can see that coordinate widget has been added. So that was everything I wanted to demonstrate, just showing you how you can use these tool sets to migrate content between different environments. As again, I was mentioning, the environments should mimic each other. So when using enterprise, make sure the versions are the same. With ArcGIS Align, should be ArcGIS Align to ArcGIS Align. I have not extensively tested this, so feel free, test different environments. Let me know in the comments if there's any errors or issues, and be happy to help out. Thank you.